First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Ow.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman from Up Next, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you found us. And of course,
twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. Hello, Twitch Room.
Yes, Twitch Room. We are podcasters. We record podcasts. And some of these shows that we do, we record them live on Twitch. So yes, Twitch is not just for gaming, apparently. But we also do that too.
We can talk all wrestling and stuff here.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a safe space.
It is a safe space. We are Up Next. We are your NXT friends.
And
last night, we talked about NXT. We did Up Next, covering all sorts of stuff, going into Stand and Deliver. Right off the bat, some news. We haven't talked about this in a while, but NXT used to do this thing where they're like, oh, Up Next goes live right after the show, so let's wait till they're done and then release a story that has to do with like changing the course of the week or whatever. Last night, NXT goes off the air with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole being pulled apart, and then Adam Cole decks William Regal, and Regal's like giving him that look. So clearly, we're getting William Regal versus Adam Cole.
Or a tag, Regal and HBK.
We do What's Next on the Patreon, and we're in this like there's this storyline that's gonna kind of ramp up where we are, where it's Chris Hero and William Regal.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty interested. I don't know. Kyle looked like he was mad, but Regal didn't hit him back.
I still think we might get like an added stipulation, like a loser leaves, something like that. Like Regal's like, you're gonna put your hands on me. Like, I'm done with you two. You can't be in the same place together.
Damn. So what, you think Cole's going main
It'll
roster?
be a call-up, yeah. And then you can have Finn with the... Kyle with the win over Cole, chasing for the title again.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of where I see it going.
Yeah, I can't see Cross winning. It doesn't make sense to me now. Finn's too hot.
I agree.
So that's kind of a story going into there. And again, we'll be doing these watch-alongs and post shows for both nights of Stand and Deliver. So 2 nights of TakeOver... And we'll be doing watch-along and post-shows. So twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. You already know. But that's all the NXT stuff. But we also talk about AEW.
We do,
That's what we're here for. And that's why we do BDElite. It's kind of a little up extra, if you will. Well, actually, before we do go into some AEW, I know that I'm seeing so many memes and tweets about the Peacock censoring stuff on the WWE Network.
Yeah, bunch of stuff censored.
Vince McMahon, 2005.
Yes, the Trump episode of Raw. I reckon there's
what
loads.
Trump episode though? What did he do?
I think he was guest when they were doing the guest hosts.
Yeah, didn't he own the company or something?
Probably,
right? Some stupid.
Probably something.
So they would have to remove a lot of him.
Yeah, I personally don't really agree with that. I think you should put like disclaimers at the beginning. I don't like the idea of wiping out history. We should learn from it, even with TV. I think you can have... We've learned as a society this is inappropriate now, but this is how things were in 2002 or 2005 or whatever it is.
Is it very WWE of them to pretend it never happened? Is that what they're trying to do?
I don't know. I doubt this is a WWE decision, because it's not like they've been there on the network the whole time. There's been little edits here and there, but... in general, the stuff has been on the network.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Americans have a real raw deal at the moment with this network thing. Which just simple things like recently we've been doing watch-alongs on Twitch of Thunder from WCW 98, or we've done WWF 92 Superstars, and just random pay-per-views as well.
You can't
go back yet. Eventually, I guess the plan will be, but if there's going to be so many edits and things on all these...
It's weird.
I feel bad for people.
Yeah, I work at a TV station, and we air a lot of retro programming, like Gilligan's Island and 80s sitcoms and stuff like that. So I'm very well versed in sitcoms lately. But a lot lately, we've been adding these billboards that play before certain episodes. So part of my job is to flag things that jokes that wouldn't fly today.
Are inappropriate.
Yeah,
that
things
kind
like
of thing,
that.
yeah.
And we have these billboards, and I think we've talked about it before, where one time we were watching NXT and Rush Hour came on afterwards, and they put USA Network put up a billboard like, "Hey, we all love our buddy cop comedies, but just remember this is from such and such." Instead of the one we air at work was similar. It says, instead of pretending it didn't happen, we're gonna air it, and we can all learn and discuss and things like that. And then the station I work at got hate. And people were like, "Oh, just air it. Why do you need this billboard?" And people were like, "Well, no, we're still airing it. We're just
letting you
covering
know.
our ass, first of all."
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Hey, we're airing it because we want to air it, and it's like what it is. Because there are certain episodes or certain things that we do have to either just not air the episode, or maybe one certain word we edit out or something like that. If it's very bad in today's standards, because old TV shows were wild. But I feel like if you're subscribing to the Peacock, what else are they going to edit? Like, are they going to edit out of things, or
like movies and stuff? Like, how say you've got the Tarantino library on there, like how edited is that gonna be?
Exactly.
And I know wrestling's always in this weird position because it's generally kind of written poorly. Like when they do things that are a bit controversial, it tends not to be dealt with that much kind of care or tact. So and people are kind of playing themselves as well, mixed with characters. So I do get sometimes why people are a bit but I don't know. I find it personally kind of interesting if I'm watching a movie from the 50s and it's like, oh, this is what people's attitudes were now, because this is the hero of this story and he's saying things that I think today is unacceptable, and it kind of gives you an insight of how human beings thought and lived at that time, or what was funny. Like some things that were hilarious then, you go, oh, actually that's a bit distasteful or offensive or whatever, but people used to find that funny. I don't know. I don't think just going with scissors and cutting things out, pretending they didn't exist is the right way. And I just feel bad for people who've had the network since 2014 and now they're just having everything kind of pulled away.
And you're paying a lot less for Peacock, but you also maybe you want Peacock because you get all this other like content on it and stuff like that. It's different for us. We're in Toronto. We're in Canada. We use I know I have Netflix. We got Crave, which is essentially our HBO. Crave Canada here, and then we have Prime, which also has stuff. But neither of those. Netflix used to put wrestling on it back in the day, and then of course we have the network, but you have to get it through the station, the actual station, to get a login, which I think is so stupid. So we use VPNs.
Yeah, I mean I'm very lucky because my PlayStation's
British,
UK, and my credit card, like my account, it's signed up to the network is UK. So I pay a couple of dollars more because of conversion, but it means we don't really have much of a problem.
Yeah, so I guess we still continue on this route, on this UK one that we use, because we do so many other podcasts. Like this week, we're doing a Patreon show on Canadian Stampede and Up Yours with Brett Nickel, world champ. And it's like, if we were in the States, we couldn't be able to access it. Because we wouldn't be able to go on the network. So sorry, people who...
We'd have to go on hunting for it. Yeah.
I mean, you probably could
I mean, you can find these easy enough. If you know how to use the internet, you can find these things.
Yeah.
But I would say random episodes, and I don't know how easy it's going to be to find some things.
You know what I want? You know what they need to put on Peacock? The Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD. Where's that DVD?
Yeah.
I don't know if the censorships affect me. I think it's petty considering WWE. It's like, no, you should own up to some of the stupid, dumb shit you've done before. Don't try to pretend it didn't happen because you did it. And I'm definitely meaning some of the Vince McMahon stuff.
For sure, absolutely.
Honest. With that, someone's got to be QCing over this content. Maybe they've never seen WWE before
and just sighing
I go. I think I've told you on
99 to 2005. They're just like, oh, there's more.
I think I've mentioned this story at least to you, but and I don't know if it was on the air. But I used to work at Fight Network, and we would get so many different properties of wrestling and fighting stuff like that. So we started getting ICW from over there. So I would watch it every week. I told all the people at work my job was to quality control that show and stuff like that. But I would watch it all the time, and then I saw Session Moth Martina come out and start putting condoms on her hands and starts using condom mandible claws, and I'm like,
she's being safe.
She was, but I was like, we're airing this at a kind of 8 p.m. kind of thing. Like maybe we aired it later, like
8 p.m. for condoms on hands.
I don't know.
Come on.
So I had to mention it to my boss, like, hey, like, I love this show, but I thought this was kind of weird. And then she like watches it fully with me, and like, yes, she gets like rubbers out. She's putting them in people's butts. She's putting them in people's mouths. It was real. It wasn't something for me. It's like the Priscilla Kelly did the whole the tampon thing. You necessarily might want to not air that on TV.
Yeah.
On TV.
I don't know about condoms then, though.
It was
like
weird.
I'm watching a show where people are pretending to hurt each other. I'm watching violence, and I'm getting offended by someone putting condoms on their hands.
It made me feel like I remember she kept putting it down people's pants and then putting it in people's butts and stuff.
If it's going up someone's butt,
it made me of all people,
right?
Me of all people, it made me go, ooh, that's a little testy. And they were like, yeah, we need to like get an edited version of this. So they asked ICW, they're like, hey, is there any way we could not air this segment? Like, this is... And they're like, oh, absolutely. Yeah. Here's what we're sending you...
It's important. It's important for the character development of Session Moth.
Censorship. You know me. I'm not a prude, but it definitely, like...
Sure.
Rubbed me... And, in fact, I still went on to... I love Session Moth, and I think finally she's in Ring of Honor getting some stuff done, but I'm like, maybe for not TV. But for a network, I pay for something. Like, of course I want to watch all these different things. But, censorship. It sucks. Another thing, Orange Cassidy got a theme song.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, first he buys Tarzan Boy for Jungle Boy, and now he couldn't get Jefferson Airplane for
Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, Starship Airplane for Orange Cassidy. Apparently they highballed TK. They're
right.
Like, yeah, give us this much, and he's like, I just can't.
Nope.
Like, no, come on. So instead he got Pixies. Where's My Mind?
Okay. So
I'm kind of... Pixies on a wrestling show sounds...
I can't think what the song is, but I'll give it a listen.
It's the Fight Club song.
Okay. Cool.
Ooh, that one.
Right.
It's... Yeah. So I guess it fits his cool. Like, chill character.
Yeah, I like that they're getting proper songs and stuff for people. I think it's good.
The reason I bring it up is because they buy Jungle Boy a theme. They buy Orange Cassidy a theme. But Pinnacle just gets this generic brand rock song.
For now, yeah.
I would have bought something heavy for that. I don't know, some Motley Crue or something to piss Jericho off even more. Buy a rock song from the 80s.
Buy a Judas song.
Buy a Fozzy song. Yeah.
A Fozzy
Judas
song.
Or come out to Judas. Yeah, that would be great. And I'm interested. I like seeing real songs used in wrestling, and Pixies in a wrestling show in 2021 is pretty crazy. So, cool stuff. Let's go into Dynamite from March 24th, 2021, and we start off with Kenny Omega, the world champion here in AEW, going up against Matt Sydal. This is the match where Tony Khan was like,
9 days.
9 days. 9 days. What was his deal on that one?
In 9 days. 9 days of AEW Dynamite on TV, on TNT. 9 days. 9 days.
Where was Tony's mind there? Realistically, he was losing it. So this is the match he was hyping up, and it's Kenny versus Matt Sydal. And they call this like eliminator thing because if Sydal gets a win, he instantly gets a title shot. That's how it goes here in AEW.
Yes.
Which I think is how it should go in every wrestling.
It seems to be the case most of the time, yeah.
So Kenny Omega starts beating down on Matt Sydal. There's a great sign in the crowd because they do have people here, which is nice to see. And it's Kenny is gonna beat up a hippie.
Yeah.
Was that a planted sign?
I don't know.
Funny. I love it. There's Don Callis on commentary who keeps saying this young upstart Matt Sydal. Yeah, Kenny.
This kid.
Yeah, this kid. And Excalibur's like, yeah, dude, they're the same age. And like this guy's been around the world too. Like, fuck. Kenny beats him up, but every time he goes for something technical, Sydal gets out of it. He's so fast. There's a series of head scissors, this crazy twisting senton, this another head scissors, but then eats this lariat from Kenny. Kenny then just crushes him with this backbreaker. It reminded me of Bane crushing Batman's back. I think that's what he was going for, but it's only a near fall. Sydal hits these spin kicks and then another one to the mush. There's then an avalanche Frankensteiner and then this like fisherman brainbuster for a near fall. Kenny kicks out. Then another crazy Frankensteiner spot. And this is so many fast counters. Matt Sydal, I think, kind of came into AEW on this like I don't know, a little bit of a blip with that shooting star off the beginning here. But he's kind of proving here he can still go just like any of the actual young and up and comers, because these moves are crazy. He's flying around everywhere. There's this snapdragon that damn near kills him. There's roll ups.
It was less snappy and more just like intent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna break your neck here.
So
it looked crazy.
Yeah, I think he gives Kenny a receipt because he does the rave effect, the spiral thing, the page turner thing, and Kenny sells moves like a fucking machine.
Spiked it.
Yeah, this looks nasty. I bit that this would be it, but he kicks out. Kenny comes back with these knees. The one-winged angel is then countered into this
Victory roll.
What in the hell was this? There's poison ranas. The counters here were nuts, out of this world. There's then this like back and forth action. Kenny decides it's time to put it to bed. V-Trigger just taking his head off. The one-winged angel crushing him. The champ Kenny Omega wins.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought Matt Sydal was great here, and some of the moves he took, like I was concerned for him because they looked nasty. I thought some of the near falls, with this being set up, you know, if Kenny loses, there's a title shot. There were at points I kind of bought maybe Kenny's been getting a bit too cocky and we were going to have a big upset to start Dynamite, because some of the near falls were like 2.9 seconds. Looked great. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thought this was excellent.
Yeah, I think this was my match of the night.
I think so.
Over both shows. I was pretty high on the Kushida match last night, but this blew me away. I love the main event here on Dynamite as well, but I am a huge Kenny Omega fan, and some of the stuff he's doing, like with the character work, is some of it's kind of weird and annoying, and I can see people hating it. But what I love from this guy is bell to bell. Like, this guy makes you believe that he's this wrestling killer god machine, essentially. And Matt Sydal, I thought this was his best outing here in AEW, hands down.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Kenny is someone who I'm very hot and cold with the character work. Sometimes I'm like, oh, he's way too pantomime villain. But other times I'm like, am I just so used to seeing the same types of character in wrestling, and the fact Kenny's doing something quite different is jarring to me? And maybe it's not necessarily bad, and maybe in a few years' time we'll look back and kind of appreciate a bit more, because how much it does stand out from the rest of the maybe cookie cutter heels. So I'm quite hot and cold with his character work, because I do at times just sort of feel a bit taken out of it, but in the ring he's so solid, and I thought Matt Sydal was great here as well.
Yeah, that counter where he goes for the one-winged angel and he bounces off the ropes, flips in midair, and head scissors him or whatever. Like, what the hell was that? So Matt Sydal, honestly, he proved his worth here. Honestly, I was like, man, let this guy continue. If he can continue to have matches like this, he's great. He's fantastic. So Kenny beats him, though. I actually kind of wanted him to win, so we can get this title match like next week or something. I think it would have been interesting.
But I mean, that's all the match needed to do, is make you buy that it could have happened.
Right.
Yeah, I thought this was great.
We go to the Dark Order backstage. Johnny Hungy is here, and he says, "Get out of here, Marvez." And then they practice coffin drops, and it's him avoiding the coffin drops from the Dark Order. This is so funny. And then Alan Angels goes to do it, and they all just let him fall.
Poor Alan Angels. This was funny. I liked it.
This is so good. I know John Silver, obviously, like the praise of his comedy work, but clearly he, like, I know he has a YouTube thing, and he posts a lot of stuff about comedy movies, and I know, like, that's all he studies, and like as well as wrestling, I'm sure, but he's nailing it. It's so funny. We go to Caesar Bononi, and he's gonna be facing. I wrote Tito Sabatelli.
Cesar Bononi with interchangeable.
So Caesar Bononi hangs around with Nick Nemeth.
Ryan Nemeth.
Fuck. So Tito and Nick, no.
And one of the many Drakes in wrestling.
There's so many Drakes in wrestling.
JD.
Yeah, JD Drake.
But no Drake Wirtz for second week in a row.
All right, yeah, true. This is the good Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Drake. So, this is Ryan Nemeth and JD Drake.
Yeah.
They're a new team. JD Drake, we've mentioned from Evolve. We kind of figured he was going to get picked up by NXT.
Yeah, I like this guy. He
Yeah.
was someone that always shone in Evolve to me.
Like you look at him and he's like, you're like, all right, and then you watch his matches, you're like, oh, you're
Got a Kevin Owens vibe about him, like a real like everyday guy, and you look at him and you're like, kind of looks like shit, and then he talks and you're like, okay, but you're like me.
He reminds-
and then you
yeah.
wrestle and you like root for him. I like him a lot.
It sounds like it's gonna sound like a weird stretch, but he gives me Austin vibes. He's
Okay.
like, Austin was supposed to be. You're supposed to like be the everyday
Blue
guy,
collar.
I mean, but he's
Yeah.
jacked. But like this guy's not jacked. He's
No.
literally He's like Tim the Toolman. He's like that comedian, the country.
Well, the bear from Toy Story 3.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly this guy. I love him. But they're calling. So Ryan Nemeth is the hunk.
Yeah.
And they're calling themselves the Hollywood. He's the Hollywood hunk. They're the hunk and chunk.
Okay.
Is that what this is, or is that what Sino told me?
It might. I don't know.
Because they'll start
But
using this for sure.
This trio, very strange.
What is this?
I'm not against it, but it's just such a weird mishmash of characters.
Where's Pretty Peter? I thought he was with
Oh,
them.
he's in it as well.
But I don't think so.
God, this is like the new evolution.
Pretty Peter Avalon, J.D. Drake, Ryan Nemeth, and Cesar Bononi.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Evolution is a mystery.
And they say NXT's the developmental show. No, I'm joking. So these guys are going up. Sorry, no, it's not these guys. It's just Bononi versus Hangman Page, who comes down for some business here. There's Cesar Bononi just beats down on him early on, but then Hangman tries to keep body slamming him, but can't do it. There's a crossbody to the outside, and Bononi catches him and slams him onto the apron. They're back in the ring, and he's throwing Hangman around, but finally Hangman gets his groove, hits him with this exploder suplex, and then the buckshot lariat, and Hangman pins him.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good little just match to heat up Hangman a little, going up against a bigger guy. Like, Bononi's pretty big, and it just shows just how good Hangman is with his like explosiveness here. Buckshot taking him out. This was fine.
Yeah, this was just to get Hangman over.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Hangman versus J.D. Drake.
Yeah, why not?
with some time.
Absolutely.
That would be pretty good. After the match, Hangman drinks some beers and walks to the back, so he's having a good night. He's feeling good. He's back on his way. He has a new shirt with the Dark Order.
Oh, he did also, kind of wish John
luck.
Silver luck earlier.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
I really want to eventually just see this guy be the leader, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when this Dark Order thing started, if you say to me in like a year or so's time you're going to want Hangman Page to be the leader of this faction, you just laugh, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, yeah, I want him to finally take that lead role in this faction and be the champion. I think it would be awesome and a real feel-good moment for the Dark Order and stuff. I'm loving this story right now.
They have a new T-shirt where it's like in the Dark Order font mixed in with cowboy stuff.
Oh, yeah?
A cowboy boot, and it says, "I got friends in dark places."
Oh.
I think it's really
We went on a little country kick the other week and we were playing that song for sure, weren't we?
Guys, lockdown and pandemic's getting to me. I'm listening to country music sometimes. I get so high, I'm like, it'd be
'Cause
good.
I got friends in low places.
There's guilty fucking pleasure. Laugh at me all you want, wrestling fans. And I'm a Canadian boy who listens to hip hop, but Florida Georgia Line featuring Nelly, a new song. Oh my god,
That's good.
Anthem. My Twitter's gonna
Could it
blow
be
up.
Dark Order and Hangman's
No.
entrance
I mean,
theme?
it could. I think it's called A Little Bit. Is the song? Yeah. Wow, banger. But I like the old school country, and I think Hangman does too. Remember you talked about Dwight Yoakam, the other records or something.
Who? Hangman?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to be a country
Yeah,
player,
of course. So we have an insert video from Murder Hawk Monster. He says, "Sting, I looked up to you. In fact, you might not know this, but if without you, there would be no me." And then he holds up a bat and says, "This bat meant justice, and now it means that everyone will have to listen to me. Sooner or later, it will be showtime." So he's kind of calling out Sting for a match, it seems.
I think Archer's actually sounded really good in his promos the last couple of weeks, to the point where I kind of feel it's time for Jake to move on and either just not be on TV or manage
was in the
someone
crowd.
else. Yeah, I could see him maybe going with someone else, because I think Lance Archer's proved the last couple of weeks that he's very competent with a promo. I quite like the content here as well, because he wasn't just like, Sting, your shit. He was like, I respect you, but, it's time to move on. There's some truth in what he's saying, which I always like in the heels, where you kind of understand what their gripe is. It's like, yeah, Sting, you're great, but I'm here right now in my prime, and I kind of want to be having the time you're getting on TV. I thought this was good.
So we get an in-ring match between the two. Takeover night.
Perhaps, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. They got to get something.
It's weird they haven't announced anything for Takeover night yet.
They're like, we know you'll watch the other.
Yeah, maybe.
Or they stack it. Christian versus Kenny. Watch.
Maybe.
Speaking of, no, not really, because that's later. Sorry. Recap of a Lights Out match. The Lights Out match. Hey, maybe Adam Cole will get kicked out of NXT and come over here. And stuff. Britt Baker said in an interview this week that Adam Cole told her that he watched AEW backstage at NXT secretly in a room.
Oh, yeah?
For her match.
For her match? Nice.
That's what Britt Baker said. I didn't say it.
I mean, it's so pathetic if you get in trouble for that. Yeah. Like, sorry, my girlfriend's in a main event right now. I'm going to watch that. I don't care if I'm WWE.
You're telling me none of these guys watch the other show?
I reckon so many of them do.
I bet there's a whole party of them, especially
so many of them are just mates with them.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to watch what your mates are doing every Wednesday? Of course you do.
Yeah, 100%. Even back in the day, Nitro and Raw, I'm sure people were watching the other stuff. But yeah. So we get Britt Baker, who comes out with Tony.
I did just like on this recap, they showed Thunder Rosa's promo from after the show went off air, and I thought she sounded great. Just so emotional and just seemed really genuine. It seemed like a really genuine moment when they caught up with Thunder Rosa. I'm really pleased they included this on the show this week.
Yeah, she's pretty fiery. Like, she's like hyped up and like, I am going to take this women's division, women's wrestling, and this whole thing, because it was a crazy match and they showed all the highlights.
Yeah,
that powerbomb into the tax, man, holy. Tony Schiavone's with Britt Baker, and she's in her new shirt already with the bloody face, of course. I love the one that she had like a year ago or so with the kiss.
From her broken nose?
Yeah, oh my God, that shirt was amazing, man.
She's like, it worked for Becky Lynch, so people need to keep on just punching me hard in the face.
Yeah. I actually just found something on the interwebs. I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain, and somehow someone on Twitter found this clip where he was in Philadelphia for an episode of his show.
Sorry, Anthony Bourdain. I was thinking Bowens for a second.
Anthony Bowens. Who's Anthony Bowens?
The Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed, yeah. I was watching Anthony Bowens' show.
I was like, okay, I didn't know you liked him that much. All right. Sorry, yeah, Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony
Gotcha.
Bourdain, parts unknown. He does this episode where he sits down and has dinner with Britt Baker and Adam Cole. I'm like, what? How have I never seen this episode? So I like watched this like 5-minute clip of him. They take him to like their favorite bar. Where is she from? Pittsburgh?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So she takes them to like a famous spot there after the wrestling matches and stuff, and he basically is like, I don't understand wrestling. Like, I think it's fucking dumb. And he's like, sell me on it and stuff. And they like explain.
They're like, you talk about food.
He does say that he didn't quite get it, but he has kids, and his kids were like, you got to take us to like this show in LA somewhere. He's like, yeah, sure. So he goes, and WWE were like, oh yeah, like free tickets, like all this stuff. And then he watched it, and he was like, "Oh my God, I get it! Like, this is insane. They do this every week. There's matches, there's stories." He's like, "I completely get it." He's like, "This is like Shakespeare. Like, this is what this is." And to hear that come from Anthony Bourdain, I'm like, "Fuck, thank you, man," because I fucking love you, and I wasn't about to hear you rip on wrestling. I was like, I couldn't. And then him and Adam Cole like are talking about heels and baby faces and Britt Baker and stuff. And you definitely check it out.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
It's only like 5 minutes of what I watched, and it's from an episode, and it was just interesting to see Adam Cole and Britt Baker, not only as like a couple, obviously, but as wrestlers, kind of just explaining why they love
what wrestling is
and what they is. And
yeah, that sounds cool.
I was like, hey, Britt Baker, you're both of you, Adam Cole and Britt Baker, you're both born to be stars. Because this clip is like gotta be 5+ years old. They're on the indies at this time. They're talking about how important indie wrestling is. I'm like, oh, we'll see about that. So back to Dynamite though. Britt Baker and Tony Schiavone here. Britt in her new shirt, and the crowd are just giving her the standing ovation. It's kind of like Edge, Christian, and Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
The night
The next
after,
night
yeah.
where they're like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and she's like, that's it? That's the ovation I get? Come on, you can do better than that. And Thunder Rosa, you should thank me that I let you be part of history that I wrote in my own blood. Everyone's talking about me. All these people, Twitter, everything. Mick Foley, hey, thanks for the thumbs up. In 20 years, I did in one night and became a hardcore legend. I'm the biggest.
I did in one night what you did in 20 years.
Yeah. I'm the biggest hardcore legend now, and I put AEW on the map. And AEW are only the second most important letters here. First being D.
Okay.
DMD.
So are we getting Britt Baker versus Mick Foley on this channel?
He's tweeted.
While Adam Cole faces HBK or William Regal on the other? That's the head-to-head I want.
Foley's not under any contract, is he? He's got to be
No.
Legends or some shit. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I thought this was a great promo. I think after that match last week, they could take a chill pill here, but instead they're like, yo, Britt, just go get even more heat. There was no Reba. It was just her being the badass.
Yeah, this was great. I think Reba's great in her doses. I think her and Britt are very good at the comedy, but there are times when you need to leave the comedy at the door and cut a serious promo, and this was the perfect follow-up to last week. She's great. She's going to be such a star. I kind of just want Shida to drop this title so we can have the Brits and the Thunder Rosas and that as a main event.
Yeah, definitely.
Like for the title main event, I mean.
Yeah, these two, one of them should be champion. Like Shida, it's been a cold for a while now.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to make some switch ups. I liked the line about Mick Foley, and Mick Foley's tweeted like, "Oh, not gonna lie, that stung." He said he was watching live. Imagine they would book it. Foley versus
Britt Baker?
As long as we get Sean versus Adam, yeah. Both nights. I thought this was a good promo from Britt Baker. I'm interested to see where they go with the women's division here. It feels like they're going to take this turn. Especially off such a high last week, they should focus more on their women's wrestling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Continue pushing it because the talent is definitely there.
Yeah.
And if Britt's leading the charge, if Thunder Rosa's leading the charge, then
You're starting to see things connect with, we'll get to Ty Conti later, but you're starting to see like the women, suddenly things are clicking in this division for different characters. I think Deeb is injured right now, I heard, right? But you've got the likes of Deeb, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Shida. Nyla's been putting on some good stuff. Ty Conti now has been putting on good stuff. It's definitely getting there, this division.
Whoever holds the title is just going to be keeping it warm for the alien.
Statlander.
I love Statlander. I'm waiting for her to come back. We go to Christian, who's hanging out with Brian Pillman Jr., the Varsity Blondes, Griff. You know why Christian's hanging out with Griff Garrison. He thought he was Edge.
He thought he was Edge.
And is it Dante Martin from Top Flight?
Yeah.
He's there. Christian's like, yeah, hey, what's going on? I'm Christian. And talking
It's
to
like,
him.
how's Darius? Can't wait to meet him. Hope he heals up.
He says, look, guys, obviously I know a lot about tag teams, so like I'll give you any advice that I can. But he's interrupted by Frankie Kazarian. Yeah, Kaz. He says, oh, hey, Frankie. He says, Christian, you look great. And I love your new t-shirt and your slogan, outwork everyone, but everyone knows I live by that slogan. And when does that work part actually come into play, Mr. Cage? And he's like, well, you're not going to be turning into Cranky Frankie, are you? I don't know if you watch Being the Elite, but he's got anger issues on that show, essentially. He says, well, next week, I don't have an opponent, so maybe if you're free, we can do that. So he basically challenges him to a match, Christian versus Frankie Kazarian next week. But Frankie, before he leaves, says, well, hey, are you busy Mondays? Of course you're not. So why don't you come hang out and watch me have my match on Dark Elevation in preparation for our match.
I thought this was really good. I am quite intrigued by this match. I think they should just have a really solid wrestling match. Kazarian's still got stuff in the tank for sure, and just curious to see what Christian's going to look like in a singles, because all we've seen is that Rumble spot. I kind of like the line, like, when is the work going to start? So imagine just, if I had a new bartender come to Gabby's and be like, I'm the best bartender in the world, better than everyone, and then just sat and did nothing.
Didn't do a shift yet?
Yeah. And it's like, you've been here 3 weeks, what's going on?
I'm the best bartender. Out-bartend everyone.
So again, like, Kazarian, acting more the heel here, but leaning into the truth. I quite like this.
Yeah, and they have history in TNA. Obviously, I'm sure they've been in tag team matches and all sorts of different stuff over there. So I'm interested in seeing that. But
Impact have just put up for free their match from like years ago.
Just
TNA.
after they're watching this?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. They just...
Someone's watching it and then they just go on their YouTube and move from private to like public. It's like Christian Kaz? All right.
Oh,
boom.
Christian Kaz? Yeah. Fuck. I think I know who that person is who does that. Like, people I work with there, that was their jobs, is to edit all these things and jump on current events and stuff like that. I miss those people. They're good people over at Impact. Some good people over at Impact. We go to, well, we had the crew hanging with Christian backstage, and we know why. It's because they have a tag team match up next. Dante Martin, Griff Garrison, Flying Brian Jr. against the Pinnacle. Yes. Sean Spears and FTR. And MJF, Tully, and Wardlow are hanging around ringside here. We have Sean Spears, who starts off in here, but he's getting like dropped and keeps getting countered, and the guys are kind of flying around him essentially. So he tags in Dax, who comes in with chops. You know why? Because he's the axe.
He's the axe. Dax the axe.
Dax the axe comes in, chopping around. I love the dropping chop where the guy's laying down and he like it's like he's going for the headbutt, but he goes like chops you. It's great. But there's double super kicks from the good guys here, and then this double springboard moonsault from Dante. Griff hits the double spear. He's like, Christian told me to do it.
Cash the bash and Dax the axe.
So while all this is happening, the commentary like, this is the first time we've seen Pinnacle in action. And like, yeah, it is. Why are they getting beat up by these guys?
Yeah.
So eventually it's like all this distraction, and it's Sean Spears who hits the C4, the Death Valley driver, which looks tight. It's a 6 C4 DVD here on Dante, and Sean Spears picks up the win. No disrespect to Dante Martin, Griff Garrison, and Brian Jr. I think they're bright young stars, and I want to see where they go in wrestling. But this was not the right call. These guys should have just got destroyed by Pinnacle.
For the first match, yeah. Down the line, you can do a bit more of a competitive one to really try and get these the kids over. But here, I'm completely with you. This is the first match from the Pinnacle. I could see what they were doing. I think they're probably aware of criticisms of Sean Spears, so they're really trying to make him look like a threat by having him win. And I'm with you. I thought the DVD looked cool. But they should have FTR should have just destroyed these guys, then tagged in Spears, who just like squashes them.
Right.
And it's not like it's the Varsity Blondes and Dante. Like, it's dark talent, really. Like, they're good. I like them.
Yeah.
But you see what happened with Drake Maverick on NXT yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's worried about Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
That's what you needed. You needed that Just Volta style squash here.
It didn't make sense. It made me go, you guys suck. Right away.
It's like, oh, you're not working well together.
You're not working really well because you can't even beat these guys.
Yeah,
I could beat these guys. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I'm with you. It should have just been a really quick squash.
And again,
or against more competitive or more of an established team. Like, if this was SCU or something like that, yeah, sure, have it go a bit more back and forth. But it's these fucking guys.
It's a tag team and one member of a tag team.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just weird. They should have just crushed them. And I know maybe we're getting too like deep into this, but the match felt like they just got beat up the whole match.
They didn't look impressive.
They didn't look impressive at all.
No.
The only move really was the C4 at the end. Like, realistically. And right away I'm like, this isn't the way I envisioned this at all.
No.
These guys are supposed to be this dominant team, and they struggled here to beat these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe I don't know.
It's that springboard shoulder block, isn't it?
It's a springboard clothesline from Brian Jr.
Does he not do the shoulder block as well?
No, that's LA Knight's new move.
Oh, great.
We have them talking now with a mic. It's Dash who has the mic and says, it's not a name, it's not a group, it's family. I don't have a wife and kids at home, so these boys, they're my family now, and I live for them. These are the men I will die for. He's like, yeah, I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Fuck it. So
He's the anti-Heath.
Dax, yeah. I don't have a wife and kids. I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
This guy's living the dream. So Dax says, hold this, and makes Tony hold the mic and says, Inner Circle, this isn't no SNL sketch or stand-up comedy, rom-coms. The marquee says professional wrestling. And you come for professional wrestling. Well, you ask for the pinnacle when you come here. MJF grabs the mic and says, hey, Chris, how you doing? I hope you break the walls down. Well, the only thing you're breaking these days are the chairs you decide to sit on. So, I thought that was really fun.
That was great,
yeah, so good. So everyone should remember that when you're in the pinnacle, you're always on top.
I thought all guys sounded good here. Good promos, just, the match, maybe not so much.
Who originally said the on the mark? Is it Ric Flair? The marquee says professional wrestling. I'm blanking on it. I should be shot right now as a wrestling fan. Someone famously said it, and that's what Dax is like going off of here. I thought all of them sound good. The only issue is like, but you just couldn't beat these jobbers. Yeah. They all sounded great. It shows that even FTR are really good talkers.
We've known Dax's, but I was impressed with Cash here as well.
I don't have a family.
Yeah.
I'm a wild card. I don't have kids. Oh, fuck your wife. I don't care. Fuck.
I don't give a shit. I'm my own boss.
This is my family now. That'd be a great character. Just like, I'll do anything. I'm wild.
It's calling up Ospreay, going, I hear you're single now. Want to hit the town?
Yeah.
Oh, wrestling.
We go to Team Taz backstage. He says there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on out there. No, not vaccines. He's talking about his team, Team Taz. I thought he was going to go into some like deep shit. You know I love conspiracy theories, but no. He's like, we're good here. Team Taz is fine. There's no problems. And he looks over to everyone. Hey, we good? And Ricky Starks just keeps smiling. Hook finally talks and says, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Dad, jeez. Leave me alone.
Dad, I'm fine. And then Cage is kind of like shaking his head and then just says, who better?
Yeah, the whole time Taz is just going about how Cage wasn't himself last week. He was caught up in it, and we've talked it out. And you just look at Cage the whole time, who looks so pissed off by it all. So just continuing the seeds here that these guys are going to split. And Cage probably with a babyface run, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess. That's weird.
It's weird, like, his style is very babyface friendly, but it's still I worry for him being on his own, not having the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be a sink and swim, be like, you need to be better, let's like push you a bit, put you in uncomfortable water kind of thing.
Put him back in was he Venom?
Thanos.
He's Thanos. Put him in the Thanos outfit.
Right.
For AAA. That's his new gimmick.
His new babyface gimmick
no,
is
that's Kenny's
Thanos.
Gimmick is Thanos because he's collecting all the stones. But Cage is Wolverine. He thinks he's Wolverine. So
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like it.
Yeah, he does.
Swolverine.
Swolverine.
Yeah. We go to QT Marshall. Everyone's just talking. Everybody's talking.
I'm gonna do a WH and have a nickname for him, JC Pennies, instead of QC Marshall.
Really
budget store.
I thought you meant budget nicknames. That's
that
what
too.
WH is.
Been listening to too much WH.
That's not a good thing. That'll rot your brain. We go to. I love you, WH. We go to QT Marshall. Oh, Marshall, because
Marshalls.
Marshall. Do they have Marshalls in the States?
His name is QT Marshall because of the shop Marshalls. His mum got him a ring jacket which said like Marshalls on it.
Oh my god.
And he was like, oh, okay. But he was like, how about I'm QT Marshall instead?
Oh.
But yeah, it's from... So it is legit.
So it really
his name,
JC Pennies.
JC Pennies.
All right. But it's just strange.
And cutie because he's just a cutie.
He is.
That's what his name is. Like an
his
outlet
real name,
shop.
then?
And
that's not his real name?
What, QT?
No, but
Marshall?
Marshall?
No.
I figured, like, why would that be?
Probably Steve or something.
I've never seen anyone named QT, but it's always what I used to text people. Just let 2 letters. Like
QT?
You're a QT. That's my text
Michael Quillari.
Oh, so he's Michael Q. Is what people call him. So
It's
he's
with
Q.
a C though. Q.
So QT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Great.
Calling him Mike.
Mike.
Mike Marshall. Well, he shall cut a promo here. He says, "I'm frustrated as I'm Cody's friend," and the crowd starts to chant, "Cody's friend. My wife is here, smiling," and they cut to the crowd, and his wife's in the crowd.
Yeah.
Here, QT Marshall's wife is a QT. She's smiling. I don't know if she was smiling when she had to watch months and months of watching her husband try to fuck the bunny.
I think she's just probably happy that he's finally on TV and doing stuff, because I imagine a lot of his life she's like, what, like, look at you, what's with the wrestling thing, dude? I like QT Marshall. I don't know why I'm shitting on him right now. I like him.
Justice for QT, man.
Yeah.
Go easy on QT. I love QT. Fuck
Trying to
you.
be funny.
So QT's wife is there, and I guess they've talked things over since the whole bunny thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's got his credit cards back and all that stuff. But he says, Cody Rhodes taught me the value of doing the work. No one's done more work than me. And yeah, sure, they throw me some bones here and there, some pay-per-views. I won the first ever bunkhouse match in AEW, so I got that going for me, so that's pretty good. He didn't say that part, but...
Was a good match, though. I enjoyed that one.
He says, but sometimes it's not all about Cody's coffee or getting the t-shirt cut right. And, well... The crowd continued to chant Cody's friend, and he's like, sometimes I just take these meaningless bumps, and I want a better quality of life, and I'm not. And then out walks Cody Rhodes, takes off the producer headset. He's like, what's going on here? I love this Cody Rhodes character. He's always like comes out with the headset, like,
I ain't got time for this.
What's going on here with his nice jacket? Cody's like, hey, come on, we can talk about this, but he's also in a sling. His arm is in a sling. Penta said he would do that, and well. He did.
Yeah.
He's in the sling. He says, let's go. Let's talk. He goes, I know the angst. And honestly, QT, my heart's not into this. So QT challenges Cody to a match. Exhibition match. Just an exhibition match. He says, look, I will gladly accommodate you or anyone in the Nightmare Factory. So, sure. You can have your exhibition match. How about this? Arn Anderson will be the referee. But I'm not going to be able to hurt you, QT. Figure 4 lock, I'm gonna have to relinquish it. I won't be able to do it. Or Crossroads, I won't be able to follow through. And you may be Cody's friend, but QT, you just might be my best friend. So friend to friend, it's all I ever wanted, says QT. And then he walks off. So getting this exhibition match, QT versus Cody.
I'm actually quite into it, I think. It's... You've got to save. You don't want to burn through all your big matches, but I like that this is essentially a throwaway match that we can just heat up and put a few stakes on. And I think QT, there's a lot of kind of truth in what he's saying. Listening to one of his interviews, I think it was on the Jericho podcast, he was saying about the whole time when they were taping at his school at the beginning of the pandemic, he didn't get to work a single match. And you could hear he was frustrated, and he's like, but I got it. I had to do other things, and I was producing. I think they were using him as a producer and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also, I'm giving you my school to film weeks of Dynamite with all these kids I've trained that are helping out to fill up the roster and stuff. And I don't even get on TV. So I think there's a lot of stuff that you can, like real life stuff that you can just amp up for a wrestling angle.
Right.
And Cody's slightly heelish as well, being like, basically, you're not going to get out of the figure 4, so I'm going to have to release it because I don't want to hurt you because you're my friend. It's kind of belittling a little. I'll give you this match. We can have a bit of fun. We can have a bit of a match, but I'm not going to hurt you.
I mean, QT's been kind of a dick lately.
He has been.
But yeah, it makes sense. Realistically, I think in real life, this guy's been doing an incredible job with the training stuff. Some of the people that have before working with him were on TV once in a while and then worked with him for like, I don't know, half a year or whatever. they're different. Like, they're so different. Whatever he and Dustin, and it looks as if this guy's like one of the head trainers, because he understands that he's great. And I think they have found that, like, hey, you're a power plant. You're creating all these stars and stuff. If QT Marshall can train Lil Uzi Vert, he can train anyone. And I mean, he's not a very interesting character on TV. This is interesting because he's like, I'm tired of being your
absolutely.
friend. I want to wrestle.
I find this way more interesting than the stuff with the bunny and things. And I think, this guy's not going to be a star. Sorry, QT, but like the look and everything. But he's a fine worker. And I think that's actually part of this story almost. It's, why am I being overlooked? Well, look, you're not Cody. You're not Kenny. You're not Hangman. Sorry, you're at this level. But I think these two are going to have... I hope they'll have a really good match next week. I'm kind of into this.
But he's in a sling, so why is he wrestling?
It's QT.
That's how shit. He's like, I'm injured.
I got Cody leaning slightly heel as well here. Obviously QT is, but Cody is like, he's always blurring those lines.
Yeah, because he's like, I'll fight you in a sling.
Now I've got
one arm behind my back.
Bad arm and
QT's gonna hurt it.
Yeah.
QT, they probably changed the course here. Like, Penta started the injury. Well, he was already injured, and Penta's like kind of hurt him more. QT's gonna like lose or whatever and just beat the shit out of him and break his arm.
Yeah.
Because Cody's got other things to do.
He's got a reality show now. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into it a little bit. We go to our next match. Yes, a match. Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. Now, you might remember this guy from AAA. He had that match with Kenny Omega just recently, a few months ago, where Kenny beat him. And he kicked out of the One-Winged Angel after 3. I remember that, Laredo Kid. Kenny does too, I'm sure. Which I thought was a stellar match. That was good. This kid is incredible.
We've seen him, was it Fighter Fest the first year?
Yeah.
Or Fight for the Fallen, one of them.
Yeah, Lucha Bros and him teamed before. So Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid going up against the tag team champs here, Young Bucks and their friend Brandon Cutler. Everyone's friends. Everyone's friends. Even Brandon Cutler gets on TV. Yeah, fuck it. Tony Schiavone mentions Matt Jackson's kids and family are here, like his wife and kids are here, and that he was talking to them earlier, and that his kids really love Spider-Man, and that he's like, well, your dads are like Spider-Man, like they're flying around the ring, and JR just cuts him off and goes, Tony, don't scare the kids. He's like, I didn't scare the kids. It's like, JR, what's wrong with you? This guy's telling a wholesome story and JR fucks with him. I'm like, fucking, say what you want about JR, but I get this weird, sick, twisted love of watching him talk on TV sometimes.
It's just the disdain in his voice sometimes. You can tell when he's like, move on, not interested in this. I need the team of JR, William Regal, and Tony Dawson.
Yeah, again. Yeah, Regalisms.
Yeah.
Great. We start off this match. Laredo Kid, Lucha Bros, Young Bucks, Brandon Cutler. Everyone's being super technical, super fast. There's Cutler and Laredo Kid trading blows here. Penta sends everyone to the outside early and then does this crazy tope on top of everyone. So then Cutler says, I can do it too, and hits everyone with one of his own. Laredo Kid, while everyone's laid out, hits this like Orihara moonsault off the post to the outside onto everyone. He like changes his direction in midair. Like he bends his body. I don't know what this guy does. He's insane. And then he hits this like flying DDT on Cutler in the ring. There's then like a diving stomp, a swanton bomb. The Lucha Bros are on fire here, beating down on Nick, but the pins keep getting broken up. There's then like Nick Jackson and Ray Phoenix just go back and forth, counter for counter here. It's just a thing of beauty, insane. Eventually they hit the assisted Indie Taker on Ray Phoenix, but then it's broken up. Nick Jackson is on fire once again, does his crazy like corkscrews to the outside. Then this insane DDT on Ray Phoenix onto like the apron or something, just spikes him. He does a full rotation of sending this. But while the Bucks are distracted being those guys, it's Cutler and Laredo Kid in the ring. And Laredo Kid hits him with a Spanish fly off the top rope and pins him. So Laredo Kid pinning Cutler. The Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid beat the tag champs.
I thought this was a really enjoyable match, kind of as you'd expect from these guys. I liked the teamwork from the Bucks and Cutler. Maybe I'm, after that PWG show with Martin that we did, maybe I'm a bit more kind of fond of Brandon Cutler, and I kind of like the idea of these three tagging, and I wouldn't be against seeing them tag again. I love the kind of Senton Atomico just keep on tagging out and everyone hitting that. But yeah, like, you're not going to be disappointed where you see a 6-man with these guys involved.
Yeah, I love all the... I think Brandon Cutler's like... we said QT's a good hand, but like Brandon Cutler clearly is...
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's their friend. He does the BTE.
He's not out of place there. He does deserve to be there, I'd say. I thought he was good.
I mean, you have Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix coming out, and then Penta in the middle in this samurai outfit.
Yeah.
Which, like, it just looks super out of place, but you're like, ass fucking lucha dudes. Like, you look sick as shit. Like, that I don't know what the fuck the deal with that samurai thing, but it looks amazing. So sick. And then out come the Young Bucks, and then Brandon Cutler's dressed like a dragon.
Yeah.
So.
This kind of just felt like a exhibition match.
Yeah.
Obviously, Penta's kind of been heelish recently, but...
Yeah.
I think Pac is nursing a little injury right now, so he was back with his brother here. But it just felt like 6 baby faces having a fun match, and I was for it. Do you think we're going to see more of Laredo Kid?
I think so, because I thought the match was fun too. I got kind of excited when I heard Laredo Kid was going to be on the show. I think we need to see more of these guys. Well, we just might, because after the match, Kenny Omega comes out and attacks Laredo Kid from behind, beats him up, and the Young Bucks kind of like put a stop to it, and he says, "Hey Bucks, 3 years ago we were family. 3 years ago I had a choice. Could have stayed in Japan. I could have went on to greener pastures in New York, but no, I chose AEW. I chose you, but you choose Cutler. You never choose me back. So are you with me or what? Too sweet me. Let me know that we're still friends. Hard cam, too sweet me. Right now, show me." And they don't want to do it, so they walk out on him. And Don Callis is like, "Kenny, behind you." He turns around. The Lucha Bros super kick him, hit him with the package pile driver, penta driver, and stomp combo from the Lucha Bros here, laying him out, busting him open. Then out come the Good Brothers for the save, but Kenny is... The bad guy here is like
bleeding from the mouth as
well.
well.
He's kind of heartbroken because the Bucks like left him on red, and he got beat up by the Lucha Bros.
I know there hasn't really been any crossover like Dynamite stuff on Impact, but I found it interesting that the Good Brothers were late to the save, because on Impact this week they kind of got kicked out of the dressing room. They were trying to hang around the dressing room, and the Impact boys were like, "Nah, we don't want you here." So they went back to Kenny's, where they've been hanging out, and knocked on the door, and he didn't answer. And they were going like, "Oh, is he there, or is he ignoring us because we've lost the tag titles, and therefore he thinks less of us now?" So I found it interesting that the Good Brothers arrived late for the save here.
They're always late.
Yeah.
They're always moseying on over.
They're just
like,
drinking the beers.
Yeah.
This is setting up a 6-man for next week. I wonder if we're going to get another kind of singles match. Maybe Kenny defends the AAA title against Laredo Kid on Dynamite one week.
Yeah, I think they announced Kenny and the Good Brothers versus these 3 next week or something.
Yeah.
So that sounds great.
Yeah,
that
should be good.
On Being the Elite, the Good Brothers did give reasons why they're always late.
Oh, yeah?
First of all, they're always drinking.
Yeah.
And Luke Gallows says he's always late because before he does anything, he's got to knock one out.
That's fair. Yeah.
We go.
John Moxley said the same thing. He's like, before you make any decision, like have sex or knock one out or something. Like when we're no, I'm not going there. But yeah, he's like, any big life decision you're gonna make, moving house, stuff like that. He's like, before you put pen to paper, just knock one out.
Sometimes
it clears your mind.
Yeah, you gotta come to decisions, and that's
Yeah,
exactly. You gotta come to your senses.
Yes. Oh God.
We get Jade Cargill, who is saying, "Hey, Red Velvet, I beat your ass, and we're both undefeated." Wait, what? You beat her.
I'm pretty sure I saw when I was covering Dark for the show for Post. I'm pretty sure I've seen Red Velvet lose a bunch. Oh, no, undefeated this year, perhaps.
No.
Yeah, 2021.
In singles.
In singles.
Okay, sure. She says, "I look like money and I sound like money. So when you step in the ring with me, you step in the ring with that bitch."
Yeah.
I thought this was probably the weakest Jade has kind of looked. It seemed like, hey, say this, rehearse kind of thing, which is pretty unlike AEW, but like whatever. It's just a little quick video. But
yeah, I think she's definitely got potential to be a good promo, but sometimes it doesn't quite hit with me. But I still just think the presentation of her has been fantastic, and I really like Red Velvet as well. So I kind of like that we're heading towards a singles match between these two, and again, just building that women's division.
yeah, I'm interested in that match. I think
Yeah.
they could put on a good match. Are you ready for the real main event? The big announcement of the evening. Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes are getting a TNT reality show.
Not surprised in the slightest.
I don't even write the name of it down. Is it Crossroads? Is it Roads to
Probably.
Road
yeah.
Family Blessing? Whatever. Roads.
Roads, yeah.
What? Why?
Well, it just shows TNT are kind of invested in AEW. I
Yeah.
think it's just more AEW content, and I think this isn't probably something I'm gonna watch. I doubt it's something you're gonna watch, but we've seen the success of Total Divas, Total Bellas, Ms. and Mrs., all of those shows do well and could build an audience for AEW. If people are into this reality series, you might want to go, oh, you know what? I kind of want to check out what's going on Wednesday. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I can't say I'll be watching.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's boys with the Miz, isn't he? So,
Probably.
I mean, then it's Roads to the top.
Okay, of course it is.
I want a reality
I
show.
want QT and his wife to be on it as well.
Yeah, and the bunny.
Yeah.
Then I'm watching it. Then I'm definitely watching. If we had our own reality TV show,
Yeah.
would we call it Total Bellends?
Total Bellends, absolutely.
Should we make a show for that? We
Total
should say
Bellends?
that, yeah.
When do we have time to start our own reality show?
We got Behind the BDE. We got Total
That's
Bellends.
enough.
Well, we're going Roads to the top. Wow, sounds great. I don't know. Some of the reality shows, the wrestling, I think Total Divas helped bring like more of a women's audience to wrestling. Definitely,
Absolutely.
100%. Like when I've always watched wrestling, but when that show came out, so many women in my life were like, "Oh, I watched the Kardashians and this and that," and I started watching that show, and now they start slowly wanting to watch the wrestling, and then now they watch wrestling. So it definitely got people
It's
into
worked,
it.
yeah, for sure.
And the ratings for some of these shows now, like the Miz's shows, like crazy high because like there's not a lot else on when it airs. But I don't know if Rhodes and here will get as much ratings, but people will watch it.
I'm curious to see how it does. Yeah, I think both have the tendency to be a little unlikable at times.
Yeah.
But that being said, so does The Miz, and that show's been doing very well. So, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, we'll see.
The only thing I don't like is, I think I mentioned it briefly yesterday, and again, sorry for being 2021 wrestling fan, but I don't like when things like, I like things to keep in kayfabe. So, like, if there's crazy attacks, you shouldn't be on a Twitch stream the next day, or like, like,
Yeah.
that's just how I'm sorry I'm old school in that way, but Cody eventually is turning. So as soon as he turns heel, don't do this show.
No, for sure. But also a lot of this will have been, as it airs, it will be stuff that happened 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
So
They're going to just pull the curtain back even more. Killing the business, AEW. No. I'm so excited. We have Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley backstage. They're talking about the Good Brothers and that, they were big in Japan, but this ain't Japan anymore with your stupid Two Sweets and your tacky T-shirts. Talking about the Bullet Club. He says he's got an injury. He's hurt his foot and he's in a cast here. But Moxley says, how good are you, Good Brothers? How far are you willing to take this? And says, we're willing to take you to the morgue. So they're making it known that as soon as he gets healed up, Moxley's coming for those Good Brothers. So that's a little feud we got going on, I guess.
yeah, I wonder why they're kind of taking Kingston out for a little bit.
Is he not actually hurt?
Well, I don't know. They obviously wanted to write him off for a few weeks with the explosion, and then did it with the kind of leg angle.
Right.
Oh
yeah, right. Yeah,
maybe they're just resting him up, or maybe it's just a way to babyface him even more.
I guess.
I don't know. But
yeah.
I guess we're getting that match again down the line.
Yeah. We go to Nyla Rose versus Tay Conti. 1-on-1 here. Vicky Guerrero is ringside. because she's with the fuck. What does she call it?
The
Vicious Vixen.
Vicious Vixens.
No, Jade's in this group too now.
I think so.
I heard Shot in the Dark
from Shot. Yeah.
Sino was telling me that Jade.
Although maybe it's testing the water on Dark and Elevation because there wasn't a mention of it and they didn't seem aligned today, did they?
Like, no, pull back.
Yeah.
Nyla versus Tay here. Tay tries to everything to keep Nyla Rose down. There's like octopus stretches and arm bars, but she gets beat up here. Nyla does this huge side slam, crushing her, puts her in the camel clutch, and then just wrenching on Conti here, and then just slams her face into the mat. Finally, after just getting beat up, Tay comes back with these running bicycle knees, and then another into the corner, and another one, another pump kick. So many, this pump kick party here. Tay then does like this roundhouse kick, and then the DD Tay. DD Tay. Oh, I keep saying Tay. Tay. The DD Tay and Tay Conti pins Nyla Rose.
Yeah, was happily surprised here. I thought Ty looked great in this. Some really awesome kicks and stuff, and was not expecting her to pin Nyla Rose clean.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of a shocker, and I'm kind of happy. Here's someone, I believe she's been through the Nightmare training facility, and it's like, she's
improved so much, and she's always had a star quality to her, so I think she's going to be a great asset to the division. And now getting a big win over former champion and a native beast in Nyla Rose, good win, and hopefully we're seeing bigger stuff for her.
Yeah, I love Tay Conti. I want to see a lot more from her. I liked how the Dark Order also came out when she came out, like to kind of just like tip your hat, like 'cause Anna Jay's been injured, but they're like, hey,
she's in the hangman position. She's hanging around, but she's a bit unsure.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for her. We go after this. I think it's Vicky who holds her down, and Nyla just starts to beat down on Ty here. But out comes the AEW Women's Champion for the save with a kendo stick. But then the Bunny comes out here as well and beats down on this. So it's just chaos breaking down, and it's because of the Hardy family.
Yeah, Matt Hardy, who's... I don't understand his character, to be honest with you.
It changes it so
because
much.
He's...
Stupid.
Like, is he paying these people to...
Yeah.
Why are these people being with him?
Yeah,
because he hasn't really got a great track record.
No, he's paying.
He had private parts. He's paying them with what money?
He says
he just lost his first quarter.
He's got WWE money.
Okay.
He's got Impact money.
Okay.
From those years.
All right.
That's what he says. He said when he lost the money that he's got other saves.
I just feel that kind of just kills the gimmick. You want to see some sort of... Like, if you're doing an angle like that, where it's first quarter earnings or whatever, you want to see something coming out of it where Matt Hardy's now struggling to make ends meet a little bit. Sure, he's got some backup finances, but that's not as interesting to watch a story. Oh, he lost the match, but he's got a fuckload of money anyway, because he worked in WWE for years, so he's fine.
Yeah,
and is just hiring the rest of the roster.
Realistically, like, because since this has happened, he's then hired the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny.
Yeah.
Realistically, when he lost all of his money, he should have went, I can't afford the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. I can afford Jack Evans. And
yeah. It's like, those games where you're like, okay, you've got $100 to make your perfect roster, and you have the top line is like Brock Lesnar and Kenny Omega, and then the next line you've got more your like MJFs, and then you go right down, and it's Luther for $1.
He could join the Hardy family. Yeah. So he's calling it HFO. So he's got a different fucking name.
Okay.
And it's the Hardy Family Office.
Cool. I'm not totally against that they're doing all these stables things. It feels very New Japan, where you've just got a load of large stables, but I think the Hardy one is the least interesting for me. It just feels any heel without anything too meaningful that they're doing is just with this guy.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on. QT Marshall can't get on TV, but Matt Hardy gets on TV every fucking week.
Yeah.
It's weird. We have a promo for the Arcade Anarchy. Yeah, that's right. It's an arcade and it's anarchy. There's back and forth insert promos in this promo video for this match next week. And Chuck E. T calls Miro Donkey Kong looking person and says that must make Kip, well, I can't say is what he says. I imagine he means Mario, because then he's like, and then the princess and stuff, and Yeah. Miro then says, I'm going to beat you, Charles, and that walking Xanax, Orange Cassidy. So that's next week.
I really hope this is the greatest match that's ever been.
It's going to be.
Because it's got to be. To be rerunning this, I was so mad the first time round. You've got the gimmicks of arcade games now. I don't know. I hope they surprise me.
I think Chucky spoils it by saying the Donkey Kong. So or what Mario thing, because...
We're going to get the giant hammer?
Smash Bros?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be funny. Once you get that, you win.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over. So if Miro's Donkey Kong, he's gonna beat up Mario and take the princess, or he's Bowser, or like something. Like, is the storyline Penelope leaves Kip?
Oh, okay. I see just the best friends winning and Miro eating Kip.
Eating?
Yeah, just killing him.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Arcade Anarchy.
Can't wait.
Next week. I did like the little graphic they had, like the 8-bit.
Yeah,
like,
they look cool.
Yeah, look cool.
This could be fun. This could like the guys are fine in ring. It's just I've hated this story so much.
Yeah.
So I really hope they pull it off and kind of salvage something here.
I hope they don't bust up any like real classic, like if they got like a classic X-Men arcade or classic Turtles in Time and they're using it as weapons, it's disrespect.
I miss playing pinball.
Pinball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Should we get one?
Might have to.
In the new
Because
place?
never going to be able to play it in a place again, are we?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
AEW pinball.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it. Up next pinball.
Up next, pinball.
Yeah.
Breaking news: Red Velvet's finally all elite.
Wow.
She signed.
Red Velvet is all elite.
Yes.
Damn, with the icing on top. That's great. Good. You figure she was.
It's about time. This should have happened ages ago.
Especially like on TV programs calling her out. Like you should probably work for the. You should
Yeah.
probably be an employee.
Yeah.
Or something. So we get an announcement of the Good Brothers, Kenny versus the Lucha Men next week. Laredo Kid and Lucha Bros. We also have Cody versus QT and Christian versus Frankie Kazarian.
Looks a good show, I think.
Yeah, that should be pretty
Looking
good.
forward to that.
We get a video for Scorpio Sky and recap of him kind of beating down on Darby Allin. He says that he's been screwed over time and time again, and it's time to stop pretending that I'm not uniquely gifted. I'm more than a one man. I'm face of the revolution. So he says he's going to be fighting Mike Seidel on Elevation on Dark Elevation.
So I get the feeling Elevation at the moment is kind of ranked a bit higher than Dark, because we never really get things setting up for Dark, and we had two things here. We had Kazarian saying he's got a match and Christian's going to be on it, and now this Scorpio Sky match being advertised as well.
Yeah. I was like, he goes, I'm going to be wrestling on Dark Elevation. I'm like, and then he goes, and I'm going to be fighting Mike Seidel. Well, I better tune in.
I thought this was very generic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not behind this guy.
I'm not into it.
It's not really working for me. It's very pretending for me.
Yeah.
Playing pro wrestler. I think he's a good wrestler, but
I do.
Yeah.
I think he's a good wrestler, but something's not connecting. And yeah, this just I'm fed up of being looked over and all of that. We see it a lot.
Sean Spears.
I mean, this was kind of what both QT and Lance Archer said tonight.
Everyone
and they said it better.
Yeah, everyone's just overlooked. Main event, it's John Silver challenging Darby Allin for the TNT title. Joining the Dark Order. He comes out, John Silver, looking super jacked. Johnny Hungy, those arms are huge. And John Silver versus Darby, and it's Johnny just throwing Darby around here. Like, obviously, they're kind of both shorter, smaller guys, but John Silver, like, is just beast. Throwing Darby upside down into the turnbuckles, throwing him around, hits him with this snap brain buster for a near fall early on, puts Darby in the Tree of Woe and does these roundhouse kicks there. And then this crazy move, a gory special, spins and spins and spins until he spins him out the other way and like neck breakers Darby.
Ooh.
This was nuts. I love a good gory bomb, gory special. Shingo does the Noshigami, which is like the gory special, gory bomb. This move looks sick. Near fall only. Darby eventually sidesteps on the outside and Silver goes flying over the barricade onto the cement here. And definitely dings his head. He's since tweeted like, yeah, I hurt my head. And he has a bump on it. This looked like it fucking hurt. They didn't show a replay. But dude got dropped on his head on the outside. And Yeah, I don't know how you get back. It reminded me of like it's the Miz at WrestleMania 27.
Oh, on the concrete.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And
Yeah.
then he's got to go and beat John Cena.
Yeah.
So Silver somehow still fights in this match. Gets back up. Both these guys are just killing each other. They wrestle like they don't have they got like 9 lives here. They're going all over the place. There's a dive spot where Five pushes Silver out of the way and takes the suicide dive from Darby. And this is where Sting comes out. He points the bat at the Dark Order and says kind of like, buzz off, you little minions. Like, let them fight, essentially. And then in the ring, Darby and John are going back at it. There's back and forth roll-ups. There's the Stun Dog Millionaire that's countered into the sleeper hold, the Queen Slayer. Shout out Anna J here from John Silver, which looks great. And then Darby's trying to get out of it. Eventually rolls it into a roll-up for another near fall. This crazy flying in midair DDT from Silver for a near fall. And then there's Darby who sends Silver to the outside with the Dark Order, and it's the coffin drop to the Dark Order. Instead of hitting Silver, I think he's like,
he does it to Dark Order. Yeah, Silver's in the ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you guys out anyways. He climbs back up, but then he's hit with an avalanche like torture rack bomb from John Silver for a near fall. They go back and forth, counter for counter, but it's Darby who hits the code red and pins John Silver. He couldn't slip out of this code red pinning predicament, and Darby retains the TNT title.
Really entertaining match. I was super excited for this one when I heard it was announced, and was really pleased it was in the main event position. John Silver's just so entertaining to watch, and I've really actually quite enjoyed how Darby's switching it up in every match he's wrestling in. Now that he's going to be defending his title more often as well, I think that's a good thing for your defending champion, like TV champions, try and do different matches. Apparently Silver injured his shoulder as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so after the match, Darby Allin says that John Silver dislocated his shoulder, according to Sean Ross Sapp. And John Silver also tweeted out, came up short tonight, shoulder is messed up. Doctor doesn't think it's too serious, but I'll keep everyone updated once I know.
Man, and he still wrestled the match. That's crazy. He hit his head, his shoulder. That's nuts. Yeah, these guys wrestle kind of dangerous style. Darby too, but I love Darby. I thought this puts him over pretty good here. It's kind of weird because the Dark Order are good guys and they're kind of getting a little cheeky.
They were kind of, with Sting coming out as well. It's like they're good guys, but they just can't help themselves. They gotta get involved with their brother.
They're a little cheeky.
They're
like the minions, like they're good guys.
Yeah.
They're kind of
we'll just get a little involved here.
Yeah, or like the penguins from Madagascar. They're always like little minions in these animated movies, and that's what these guys feel like. Overall, I enjoyed the main event here as well. I like both these guys. Silver to me needs to be like a world champ one day. Honestly, I think he is someone that is just so entertaining, and when it comes to the wrestling, he brings it all. He puts his heart out there. Same with Darby. I really enjoyed this as well. After the match, Matt Hardy, that's right, more fucking Matt Hardy, comes out and attacks Darby Allin. It's an all-out brawl. The Butcher, the Blade, the Bunny, they're here. Private Party are here. They're beating up the Dark Order. Darby does this crazy tope taking out Matt Hardy here. I think he injured himself because this looked nasty. Takes out Matt here. They beat down. It's chaos. It's anarchy. And as we're going off the air, Tony Schiavone says, the legend of AEW continues. And the legend of Tarzan is next. Good night.
Great
sign off.
Great segue.
Wow.
Not into this Matt Hardy thing at all. Kind of would have just liked the show to have ended with the fist bump and the respect between the two.
All you needed to do is shake the hand.
Yeah, but it looks like we're going to Matt Hardy challenging Darby Allin for the title. I hope that's just something that's a one and done on Dynamite in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Have that up against TakeOver maybe, because I don't want that to be I don't want this to be a long build to Double or Nothing between these two.
We just bitched about how, why is Matt Hardy just keep getting inserted into everything lately? Like, the Hangman pay-per-view match was Matt Hardy. Everything's Matt Hardy. And then he still comes out afterwards and gets involved twice on the same...
And I can't say I'm particularly interested in seeing any of the people in his family up against Darby in this in this story
No,
either.
It's not interesting at all. It's not where the TNT title should be at all.
No.
There's so many other people that you could build
so.
feuds with. You have Scorpio Sky just calling him Darby out. Like what's gonna happen?
Well, we've just had that match.
Yeah.
We had that last week.
It's just kind of like a demotion, I find, to this title. Like that's the program, Matt Hardy and
I agree. I think maybe Tony Khan sees more stock in Matt Hardy than we do. I don't need big matches from this guy. Darby, I think Darby Lance Archer, once Lance Archer's done with Sting, I think that kind of writes itself, a good David Goliath kind of story. You're not going to go back to Team Taz. Ethan Page, where's he?
Yeah.
Remember that guy? Like, what's going on there? I mean,
too many cooks.
Yeah, and I don't think they've picked the right one here with Matt Hardy.
Too many cooks, and we're getting fast food with Matt Hardy. I don't understand what the obsession with why is Matt Hardy being pushed.
Yeah.
You just take a back seat. There's not even crowds. Like, people don't even care that they're seeing Matt Hardy because there's only like 500,000 people here, like 500 to 1,000 people here. Why is Matt Hardy keep getting this thing? And again, I'm not trying to like shit on Matt Hardy. He's done a lot in this industry, but just right here, right now, it seems like they're pushing him too much.
Yeah, it's not what I'm interested in.
It's not interesting at all.
No.
It's like everything else is going. Like the highlight for me of this show was the opening match with Kenny and Matt Sydal, and all you needed to do there again is show me the great wrestling and the great little storylines in there. Will Sydal get a title shot? Will he beat him? That's what I like in my wrestling. More so than I have money and I pay these people and now I'm fighting. It's like so like come on, like, it's so recycled. Highlights of the show again: Kenny and Sydal I thought killed it. Silver and Darby killed it, and I really liked Britt Baker's promo as well. I thought she did the right thing after that hot match last week.
Yeah, I'd actually throw Cutie and Cody and the Archer promo in there. I thought there was a lot of good stuff. Not maybe the most newsworthy show. There wasn't anything kind of any ridiculous stunts or any big story moment, but I thought it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Overall, did you enjoy AEW or NXT more?
I think AEW for wrestling.
Yeah.
NXT had a great last angle, but I think maybe AEW this week.
Yeah, we were pretty like kind of high. We had one thumb up.
Again, it was solid. Yeah, it was a solid show.
NXT was a pretty solid show. It had some really good wrestling. It had some story driving things and leading into the takeovers. But overall, I think I enjoyed Dynamite a little bit more, simply because the two matches definitely like stood out to me.
Yeah.
But AEW still feels to me like the cool show as a wrestling fan. Like the reason we do this show is we're up next. We cover NXT, but we genuinely, as wrestling fans, are interested in this show. It's the new cool toy. This is the shiny new toy. Is Dynamite still? Yeah, it's been on for a year plus now, but it's still the cool show. So we do this show because we're like, fuck it, we're watching the show anyways. We might as well do a show on this show, and that's the reason why we kind of do BDElite and give it to you guys for free, because it's like, well, we're gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah, because
it feels like the more interesting show. And even when AEW falls flat on a Wednesday night, it's like it's still the show that's topical and something.
It's always entertaining, even when it's not like one of their best shows. This wasn't one of their best shows. It's not a particularly memorable show, but it's always enjoyable. Yeah, I never come away from it.
There's a few times.
There's been times where it's been not great, but I can't say I've ever been like crazy angry about an episode.
I'm interested in next
week.
Or
feel like I've wasted my time or anything. I've just been like, that wasn't as good this week.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like that. So that was AEW Dynamite, and that's what we thought. Are we going to take any calls?
We are, yeah. We open up the phone lines every Thursday afternoon. We go live on Twitch 1 p.m. And as we're wrapping up our show, we like to go to the Zoom call-in lines for our lovely, lovely patrons. I'm going to ask MJ to unmute himself because he's on the line. And I'm just going to turn this up here and make sure I'm recording because I don't want to forget that. MJ, hello. How are you?
Hello, my friends north of the border.
Oh, it's MJ from NJ.
It's MJ from NJ.
I miss you guys.
I miss you too.
I miss you so much, bro.
It's been a minute. I can't join the watch-alongs anymore. I don't watch the main product. And I actually caught the overrun. I know I left feedback on the final promos for NXT last night. That looked cool, so excited for those matches. Not sure how many times they can run Adam Cole up the top of the mountain though. With like at some point he's got to regain his old form, right? He's got to be the champ, and I don't know that I want to see Kyle lose. It's definitely a very good rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this takeover is looking fantastic, and definitely Kyle and Cole is one I'm probably most excited to see.
Yeah, takeover looks stacked.
So I know this is the AEW show, and I don't know how much you guys watch Being the Elite. It's always been a big passion of mine and something I've watched for years. And there was this interesting bit this week where Matt Jackson's kind of sad about what happened with Hangman. Matt Hardy did the whole phone call thing. Am I telling you guys things you already know? I'm sorry.
I don't watch, no, but I think Braden does.
I watch here and there. For me, it's like it either really hits and there's some funny shit and really story driving things, and then the other time I'm like, why was this part of this show kind of thing? But I think it helps get wrestlers over. But explain what the story was there.
Yeah. So Matt Jackson's all like sad and disgruntled over what happened with Don Callis, and then he's like reflecting on things. And they use this certain music that they play when it's more like storyline driven stuff. And he runs into Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy admits that he's the one that texted him about Hangman and like not needing them. And that's what set the fuse off with those guys. And then Matt goes to find Hangman, and he goes to the Dark Order clubhouse where they hang out. And he sees Hangman like having this amazing time. So like my biggest takeaway was that in the last year, the Dark Order has become like the star group of Being the Elite. They have all the bits. They have all like the inside jokes. The Elite has kind of like fragmented. Cody's not even involved with them, which was really weird because he was involved with Penta last week. And then this week, Kenny's involved. And like these guys have nothing to do with each other anymore. Anyway, fast forward to last night. And I think that really played out even more so. Like Hangman's part of this other group and the Elite's done. And I mean, Hangman like down the road's the ultimate babyface, is he not?
Oh, 100%.
100%. I see him as the next guy, the guy to kind of dethrone Kenny.
Yeah, so I love that stuff. I mean, I provide that because I don't know how many people are watching Being the Elite, but it's cool that they're moving storylines along. And then the Matt Hardy stuff's just all over the place, like too much and not enough going on. There's no there anymore. The magic's gone, and we'll see what happens. But
I know MJ, you're a pretty big AEW fan. Obviously, you usually watch that over NXT on Wednesdays. But where would you want to see? Because I know that pay-per-view is like in a few months. What's the main event of that pay-per-view for you as an AEW fan? Because is it Christian versus Kenny?
No, I think that's like a big Dynamite match. I think actually a lot of it depends on what they do with Rich Swann and Impact. There's just so many options, and I do feel like somebody said this last night in comments on the John and Way show, which is like Kenny seems to be in a holding pattern, and I agree. I just think there's too many like big things out there for him. You don't know what the Impact situation is going to be. You don't know what you're going to have available with any of the other Bullet Club guys, God. Like I wouldn't even be I'd be for like a 5-on-5 huge match at the next pay-per-view where you can bring in special attractions. You don't have to do like another singles titles match if you're doing those on TV.
I think you're getting that with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle, though. I imagine we'll get some sort of stadium stampede there.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then you have Kenny. Yeah, if he beats Rich Swann, would you run that back on AEW?
If he beats Rich Swann,
like on a Dynamite, maybe.
So let me rephrase. Would you build to anybody from Impact challenging him on AEW's next pay-per-view?
No.
Double or nothing?
No, and I don't really think that's... It's more beneficial for Impact to have these things happen on Impact pay-per-views. I don't think you're gonna spike an AEW number by having like a Rich Swann or a Moose challenge on AEW TV or an AEW pay-per-view, but I do think the other way round, you're going to spike an Impact pay-per-view by having Kenny on there. So I would keep it. I personally would like to see a bit more storytelling on Dynamite, a little bit more crossover, a little bit more references to what's going on with Swan, because I do think that's kind of an interesting story right now, but I don't see the match happening on AEW.
What about a bigger match, MJ? What about MJ's with me on this one?
Don't say it. Don't say it. It's not. We're a way away.
The End Game.
The end
Not
game
for not
is
for
real
Double
life.
or Nothing. I wouldn't think.
No, not for Double or Nothing. But the end game is real.
The end game would sell out a stadium, maybe one that the owner of AEW happens to own already.
So we're going.
Perhaps.
You're putting us up. We're
I
going.
don't. I'll get off the line. I don't want to get too deep into the end game, Braden. But
We can't let people know about our end game. Yeah, not our
let's
end
be
game.
honest. If they wanted to run a stadium show and they own the stadium, so it's rent free and it's all profit from ticket sales, like are 50,000 people in 3 years not going to a mega show?
We're going.
Yeah, no, you're right.
1 year, I don't know how long, but like
It's us versus them. AEW.
I mean, so going back to Double or Nothing, perhaps it is Christian. Perhaps that is the match. He said last week that he wants to prove himself by kind of working through everyone. He's starting with Kaz next week. We're talking, 6-8 weeks till Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
I think it probably is Christian at this point.
I think it's Christian versus Kenny at
Yeah.
the pay-per-view. It makes
Because there's no one else right now. Everyone seems tied up doing other things.
Last question, MJ, before we kick you off the line here. Are you buying my Kenny Omega towel for a crazy, insane amount of money?
So I don't know if you've seen this thing, like the big shipping truck, the cargo that's stuck in the canal.
No.
So as soon as they figure out global shipping, we can arrange the shipment of this towel.
All right. Yeah.
Sounds
You
good.
got to move the boat from the Suez Canal. Look that up if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. It's
I have when I went to Tokyo Wrestle Kingdom, I bought 2 towels. I bought one for you, Davey, and I bought one for myself. But I just never opened this towel. And MJ, it's worth a lot of money now, and MJ has offered to buy it. So I'm just gonna sell it to him.
Yep.
Letting the price go up until that forbidden door opens, and then they just start selling it again. Which I gotta sell it to them before they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Before they just print them all.
Guys, be
Thanks,
well.
MJ.
Be
Thanks,
safe,
MJ.
Enjoy the nice weather. You both look beautiful. Davey, I'm
Oh.
jealous of your manly tan and lion mane.
I think
You're
it's
in
just the
Florida.
lighting. I
Why
think
aren't
it's
you-
just the lighting.
Yeah, why aren't
are
you
not
getting
tan?
tanned? You're in Florida. We appreciate you, MJ. You're one of our biggest supporters and one of our great friends on this show. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Hey,
MJ.
if anybody lives in New Jersey and had a birthday yesterday, shout out.
I don't know.
Don't know who he's talking about.
Maybe Philly. I don't...
Yeah. Let's go to Jake, who's on the line. Jake, how are you?
Maybe the famous Brandon from New Jersey yesterday. So it's
Thank you. Thank you for
Omega
ruining
guy.
my joke, Jake.
Yes.
Thank you, Jake.
Captain Obvious there.
Thank you.
That didn't go over your head at all, Jake. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it went over my head, but thanks. Hey, what's up, Brudas? I'm talking to you with my new Blue Yeti microphone, which is a beautiful piece of artwork. I just purchased yesterday, so it definitely works well. What a beautiful microphone I have.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
great.
We use.
Yeah, it's what we use as well.
Yetis as well. Yeah. What's on your mind tonight, Jake?
Yeah, what's up? Okay, so here living in Chicago, I do want to talk a little bit about Peacock because I do have it. And I got to say, this thing, the rollout here is gonna take a while to get used to. Simply because like I was watching Fastlane this past Sunday, having both Peacock and the WWE Network, and it's a very lengthy delay on Peacock, which is about like 2 or 3 minutes behind, and
okay.
yeah, it's interesting. And there's no capability to pause, to fast forward, or to rewind, which is pretty lackadaisical and pretty frustrating, to be honest with you. But I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully they'll all get sorted out, and hopefully by Mania time. But it's going to take a while to get used to. And regarding the whole editing thing, well, they have. I've decided to take a look at the library and removing some questionable content. And like, I understand what they're doing, but and I know that the times have changed, but the past still happened, and what happened. You can't change history, pretty much. But look, I understand what they're saying, and they want to try to appeal to like a more mainstream audience, and don't want to have that type of controversy coming around. But even Disney Plus, but to be honest with you, even Disney Plus isn't doing this type of stuff. At least with Disney Plus, like they at least put disclaimers saying that this is the content of the time, and there were, and obviously in like the classic Disney movies back in the 30s and the 40s, it has some racial stereotypes that did not age very well, like with Bambi and
Peter Pan.
Some of the old movies.
Dumbo, I
Peter,
think.
Peter Pan,
Dumbo,
Peter Pan, one of my all-time favorite movies. Captain Hook is the true hero. They recently put up these things like, hey, there's some things in this movie that aren't like cool. Disney's doing that, but WWE's pulling.
And there's like parental locks for like stars. Like if you want to add star to your thing, you've got to like.
But I get it. I'm not a parent, but I understand Disney is Disney. It's for kids. It's weird that it's so accessible.
Yeah, I'm probably comparing apples and oranges here, but I'm just putting out an example right here. But with WWE, like having more of an adult type of content and seeing the stuff they put out there with Vince McMahon having that conversation with John Cena and then pulling out the N-word and then having Booker T on the side after that. But yeah, I could have at least had probably feel like at least had a better solution, maybe like putting like disclaimers like what they did with Chris Benoit matches.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I mean, it doesn't affect us, but I'm with you, Jake. We kind of talked about it on the show about how I think we both feel the same, that just pretending things didn't exist, I don't think that's how you learn. I think you learn from seeing that, watching what happened and being kind of told that this isn't cool and this doesn't necessarily represent NBC's views, and this was filmed in 2005 and
it wasn't right then.
Changed, and it wasn't right then, but
Sure.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the whole Attitude Era, there's so many things that you're gonna...
Someone's QCing right now the Attitude Era clips, and they're like, wait, Mae Young and Mark Henry, wait, they got
Trish
what?
barking like a dog.
Like, there's so many bad
Katie Vick.
things.
Like, there's so many things that... and I get, you don't want kids flicking through and seeing Vince McMahon say that word and thinking that's cool, but also... So... Like, well, that's why you have disclaimers. That's why you have parental locks. Like, you've censorship of like old stuff. I don't know. I just find it a bit odd.
It's weird because like think of I'm born in the 90s, so 2000s. I love all those shitty 2000 comedies, teen comedies, American Pies and stuff like that. If I watch those back now, I'm like, ooh, that's cringy. Ooh, that's the plot. Ooh, that's a joke. Today, that's just like downright wrong. They shouldn't be. Family Guy. You watch jokes from Family Guy. You're like, ooh, should they have said that? Are they going to edit these movies and just air 15 minutes of it instead of what's in it? It's like, maybe it wasn't right and we've learned from it, but this helps us know that now I watch and go, ooh, that's not cool.
There was a play at one of the theatres I worked at called No Naughty Bits, which was about Monty Python versus ABC.
Okay.
Because ABC basically censored all the naughty bits from Monty Python, but it then made, like, when it was airing, it didn't make, you're like missing parts of the joke. So a 30-minute show is now 20 minutes and all setups for punchlines aren't there, so therefore it's not funny. And they go, by removing it, I'm not saying that N-word is necessary at all for that show. I don't think it's necessary. That one, I also kind of, I'm not as hot about being cut out, but I think other stuff from hearing what the censorship is, you're taken away from what the product originally was, right? And you kind of want to see that. You want to see how things were then.
I'll tell you, Jake, what they won't censor, and that's us here at the BDE. I don't like censored podcasts, and I don't like censored music. Is what I don't. Trying to cancel Eminem. It's like, just don't listen to him.
Yeah. I have a quick thing. I gotta feel bad for the person managing the whole platform, having to edit all those stuff and trying to take out all. It takes like hours and hours of consumption trying to take that out. So, but I gotta feel bad for that guy. So
at least he's working. Some people aren't working right now, so like it's his job.
There's probably a lot more than one person doing it too. But hey, thank you, Jake, for calling in.
Thank you, Jake.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Talk to you.
Take care, dude.
Shout out to Blue Yeti. You sound great.
Yeah, sounds very clear.
Oh, and by the way, one more thing. Shout out to the beloved Toronto Raptors. Unfortunately, they've gone through a tough season this season, and unfortunately, it looks like some of the best players, Kyle Lowry and Norman Powell, are on their way out. So
I saw this. So. Yeah, dude, I woke up this morning and saw that, and I was like, oh man, I'm not even a huge sports guy and stuff, but I always want to support the city. And I will say, Kyle Lowry.
Lowry is the Raptors.
Yeah, he is the Toronto Raptors. So that definitely takes the heart and soul out of them. Shout out Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a jersey now.
Larry jersey.
Larry
jersey.
Thank you, Jake.
We the North. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Jake.
North.
Bye.
Wow.
Awesome stuff.
Shout out Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
And shout out you guys for listening to us.
And you know what? Shout out Brandon from New Jersey. Happy belated. Just like you were belated to our Rumble game.
Yeah.
Turning up way after the number 30 slot. We're belated
really,
in saying.
It was really funny though.
Happy birthday.
It's like he did it on purpose,
Yeah.
and it like made stuff. It was great. I loved that he didn't show up. We were like, well, I guess we just don't have a number 30. And it's like, wait, he's here. It's Brandon from New Jersey. Brandon from New Jersey. Happy birthday, brother. Again, we miss all like our Up Next crew and stuff like that. We mentioned WrestleMania patrons, patreon.com/upnext. Join now and join for the month of April because WrestleMania Night 1 tailgating before the show starts on Zoom for all patrons. We'll be celebrating our 3rd birthday here at Up Next. So come tailgate with us. I hope Brandon from New Jersey is there. I hope Jake is there. I hope MJ from NJ is there too. I hope all of you guys are listening and stuff.
It's our leather anniversary, so maybe we've got to wear leather to celebrate 3 years.
Calm down.
You've got your leather hangman vest.
I do.
Yeah.
I got a new vest though.
Yeah.
I got inspired by Kyle O'Reilly, and I'm gonna rock a great WrestleMania tailgate outfit. Terrible. Join us on Patreon.com/upnext because we do so many other podcasts. Canadian Stampede with Brent Nickel is dropping this weekend. We're gonna record it later today, talking all about the WWF In Your House epic showdown between the Hart family, Team Canada versus Austin, Legion of Doom, Shamrock, and who's the other guy in that match? Fuck.
Is it Ahmed? No.
It's not Ahmed.
Who is it? I can't remember. Still need to watch the match.
So look for that as well as an episode of Was Next, chatting all about February 27th, 2013 edition of NXT with The Shield showing back up in NXT there. And all the other podcasts, only $5 a month gets you access to all the shows we've ever done. Was Next, Best Match Ever, movie reviews, all that stuff is there in the back catalog. Only $5 gets you access to that. Go support us there. And follow us on the socials at Up Next Podcast on Twitter and Instagram for all the updates of all the shows and everything we do. And we appreciate you guys for listening and for supporting.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us, everyone in the Twitch room today. Thank you for listening, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it is. So thank you. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And I didn't think of anything too funny to say. So.
I don't know. What was said?
Who better? Like, I don't even, nothing really was.
Who better?
Who better?
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite.